It is necessary to revise the Imperial House Law for the first time in 75 years. Reiwa version of Grand Decree for the Restoration of the Monarchy. The Liberal Democratic Party won a sole majority in the House of Representatives election held on October 30 last year. And President Fumio Kishida began running the government as prime minister in a way different from his predecessors Yoshihide Suga and Shinzo Abe. The most prominent one is the position of allowing a female emperor. It is said that the Kishida administration will last less than a year. But it is doubtful whether it will be able to revise the Imperial House Law until then. The Imperial House Law, which stipulates that only men can become emperor, could be interpreted as a violation of the Constitution, as stated in the Japanese Constitution regarding gender equality, Article 24 of the Constitution. At least, it appears that the Cabinet Legislation Bureau has already made that determination. The long-awaited theory of Emperor Aiko, and the degree of realization of the scenario of the return of the four former imperial families, by male line men, in their 20s and under. The Cabinet Legislation Bureau's decision will be announced at an appropriate time. In fact, according to public opinion polls, more than 80% of the people say they would approve of a female emperor. By the way, public opinion is a term used by Yoron, national government, NHK, etc. This will of the overwhelming majority of the Japanese people is becoming difficult for the anti-Japanese and anti-imperialist factions of the Liberal Democratic Party, including the Abe faction, Seiwa Kai, to resist. Why do right-wingers like Abe and Takaichi hate the imperial family so much? While the Seiwa Kai and the Kochi Kai, Kishida faction, are engaged in a fierce power struggle within the Liberal Democratic Party, Mr. Kishida wastes time with an indecisive attitude, refusing to explain anything about new capitalism or discuss legal reform. I'm just applying. The law known as the Imperial House Law can be amended with the approval of a majority in the Diet. Article 2 of the current Japanese constitution states, "The imperial throne is hereditary, and its succession shall be in accordance with the provisions of the Imperial House Law passed by the Diet." This refers to the Imperial House Law. Chapter 1. Succession to the Imperial Throne. Article 1. The imperial throne shall be inherited by a male member of the male line of the imperial line. In other words, male lineage is also recognized by women and female imperial lineage. This amendment will allow Imperial Princess Aiko to become the next emperor. His girlfriend, Princess Aiko, 20 years old, has become an adult and was announced to the press on December 1 last year. In other words, it has been revealed that the next emperor will not be Prince Hisahito, age 15. The eldest son of the Akishino family. In Japan's national system, there is already talk of Princess Aiko's marriage. And I believe it has been decided that the current emperor, father, will abdicate before his death, just like His Majesty the Emperor, grandfather. His Majesty is currently 61 years old. So compared to the emperor who abdicated the throne at the age of 85, this will be more than 20 years later. Therefore, there is no doubt that something is happening behind the scenes to decide who Princess Aiko will marry. In particular, I think it is highly likely that the Imperial Household Agency will adopt a man from the former imperial family and have him marry Princess Aiko. The reason for this is that the Yap gene of a male emperor is absolutely necessary. It is said that the Yap gene does not exist in neighboring countries such as Chinese, Koreans, and Filipinos. It is also called the kindness gene, and I believe that the kindness and diligence characteristic of Japanese people are related to the influence of this gene. General MacArthur, the head of GHQ, apparently didn't understand the Yap gene, which allowed him to sacrifice himself for others. seppuku, the act of sacrificing one's life for the sake of the Lord, and kamikaze, the act of sacrificing one's life for the emperor and country, are unfamiliar to foreigners. Therefore, the occupation forces felt threatened by Japan. And after the war they thoroughly reformed Japan and abolished the imperial system. In other words, the emperor is not a powerful person in the country, but a person of lineage who listens to the voice of heaven and has excellent spiritual abilities. In the end, the remaining 20% of conservatives and right-wingers will become convinced that there is no problem with having a female emperor, as long as her genes are passed on to children born from marriages with former members of the imperial family. The problem is that it depends on how Princess Aiko herself is evaluated. Even the future emperor has likes and dislikes.